Okay, here's Alex again. This is part 2 of our Windows Server 2025 extravaganza, where we install on Windows Server 2025 a VM running on OCI. We install Podman because we want to run the Oracle database, 23AI no less, on as a container. The reason for this architectural decision, and very questionable decision, is that we want to establish a single machine where we can test multiple different ways of deploying Siebel, including container-based deployment. That's why Podman comes into the picture. And we also want to be able to maybe later run a secondary Siebel enterprise, like, test or production grade enterprise on the same machine. So we have a single machine. And of course, this machine is the machine we will use for Siebel Hub trainings and Siebel Hub demonstrations. It's not intended to be a real production environment. So just to recap our first part, we have set up the OCI VM with Windows 2025 server. We have enabled the hypervisor and Windows subsystem for Linux version 2. We have installed Podman and configured Windows subsystem for Linux. And we have initialized a Podman machine. And as you can see, I'm using Claude to help me, assist me with the documentation, writing up the documentation, and also some research I do along the way. So the next step is to get the Oracle database container. And for this, we are directed by Claude to container registry at oracle.oracle.com, and let's go there. So we are back on the training machine, and let's just go to Oracle Container Registry, which if you haven't visited it, it's worth a visit, because here's where Oracle publicly places all container images. And if you think that's the place for the Siebel image, you're mistaken. The Siebel image, for legal purposes, for legal reasons, is only available on My Oracle support. But you can see immediately what Oracle deploys here. Database 21 repository, Golden Gate, Graal VM, middleware, blockchain, okay, the cloud native environment, observability stack, and so on. So you have to sign into this, and it also tells you that you have to create an auth token for the use with Podmans and the like and Docker, so you can log in from a remote and pull container images. So let me sign in. And yeah, I'm signed in with my user account. So the next thing I did already was to create that auth token. So you actually go to your user icon, and I've already created a secret key, which is basically the password you have to send in when you log in remotely. You can't delete the secret key, create a new one anytime. Okay, let's go back. And of course we want a database image. So I didn't tell Claude specifically which image I wanted, because I can find it myself. No AI required for that. So in a real production environment scenario, if you would look for an Oracle container for database, you'll probably go for your licensed enterprise database. Of course, you still need a license for that, even if you download the container, if you use it commercially, right? There's also a free container, Oracle Database Free, and just for the sake of demo and fun, let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? Let's use the free database, and that currently is on a 26 AI, which is, frankly speaking, 23.26. So it's a 23 database, but officially not certified with Siebel yet, so I'm a little bit reluctant to pull the latest 26 AI. So I'll just scroll down here. Is there any list? Yes, okay, we're looking for that list. So is there any earlier, not latest, free database? And there is a 23.9, and that is the AMD 64. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So that's a 23.9, which is certified with Siebel 25 and 26, practically certified with the Oracle provided Oracle client that ships with Siebel. It can connect to this database. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this, because that's what I want to pull, not with Docker, but with Podman, of course. So I'll go back in my PowerShell and I do a Podman login, and that is container registry oracle.com, and that will prompt for username and the password. And the password is that auth token that you get from Oracle Container Registry. It's not your Oracle password. So now we have succeeded in logging in. So now we can pull that free database version 23.9 with Podman pull. And it is pulling, yes. So while this is downloading the image, a few words about the 23AI free database. Of course, free means it's free to use for evaluation, education purposes. Is it suitable for Siebel production? Nope, absolutely not, because it's super limited in terms of how many processors it can use, how big the database can be, and maybe some other features are truncated as well. So it's a good idea for training, for learning more about Oracle 23, but definitely not for any professional Siebel environment that you want to use with real Siebel payloads and Siebel use cases. All right, so the image took a few minutes to download or pull that image. So if you want, you can verify that in, well, Podman Desktop, for example. We can see it already here. And it would be straightforward actually to run the image, but we need a few input arguments for that image. So hold your horses there. And likewise, you can, in PowerShell, you can do a Podman images, and then of course you get the same listing here. So we have pulled the Oracle database image. That's step 7 in my Claude document. So before we are running our freshly pulled container image, we need to prepare the persistent storage. So the story with persistent storage, of course, with containers is the volatile parts of, or the vulnerable parts of the deployment, like the database files, etc. You definitely want to keep them when you replace the container. And that is persistent storage. Now with Podman, you can create Podman volumes, which live inside the WSL VM on Windows. So they are practically in a VHD file. That's the way it works on Windows. Or you can use the Windows file system. I've had Claude compile a list and comparison, and definitely the Windows folder, as documented in many places, is slower because it has to cross the boundary to the Windows subsystem for Linux, and it's expected to be much faster with the native Linux Podman volume. So I'm going for Podman volume, but if you want to go for Windows folders, you can go, but expect slower performance. And also naming convention, I create a volume called Aura Data Siebel Dev for the Siebel development database, and you can then follow the lead and create more volumes for other databases. And of course, we need a volume later for any Siebel containers we have. And because it's things that will talk to each other, we create a specific network. We will not use the podman default network. We create a specific network. Okay, let's do this. So it's fairly straightforward to run these commands. Okay, there's our volume and there's the network. Okay, let's do a list, podman volume list and podman network list. Okay, you can see the default podman network here, but we are using our Siebel network. And also in podman desktop, we should see images. Did we pull it? Okay, we should see the volume. There is the volume. So we can also see the mount point here internally, which is interesting if you want to access the data from outside, of course. So why is there no image? No images of, well, that's unfortunate, but I have recreated a podman machine, so that did definitely take the images with it, so no big deal. We will just repeat those steps. Okay, so yeah, we're pulling the image again. Did slip a little bit, but no worries. As long as the machine has internet access, and of course when you run the command and the image isn't there, it will pull it automatically. Oh, no big deal. So now we can get ready to run the database container, and that is, we have a run command here for podman, which is partially generated out of the Oracle documentation, and of course with the help of Claude, a podman, well, the machine needs a name and a host name, so it will be known to other machines in the network like this, and that's the network to use. Remember, we created that, and that's the port projected on the host machine, and that's the internal port. So they're mapped. That's the port mapping. We're using the same ports here. We can later start a second machine, a second database machine with different ports. The internals stay the same, the externals will change. The password, I will maybe change that later. And we use the character set UTF-8 for Siebel, that's great. And we disable the archive logging. We don't need that for performance reasons and also for disk size reasons. And, well, it's a demonstration environment. So, of course, your mileage will vary in real-life production. And in real-life production, you're not going to use the free version of Oracle. You might wonder why only 2 CPUs. That's the limit for the free database. Same with the memory. And restart unless stopped. So it will try to restart if anything goes wrong. And here's our image. So let's put that on the machine. Remember to change the password slightly. So that password, by the way, that will be assigned to the system users, system, sys, and so forth, the sysdbas. You can change that. There's instructions on the Oracle Container Registry side. So I'll change the password to something easier. Siebel def123. Of course, that password is has to be kept super secret, not for this demo environment, of course. And let's give it a try. So the image is pulled, yes. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh. And it shows up as a container in Podman Desktop, which is very convenient. You can just click on the container and see the logs. You can, of course, do that on PowerShell as well. Podman logs -f gives you the tail, basically, of the log files. There's a terminal you can access. And you can see it's actually doing things. When it starts the first time, it will actually instantiate, create a database, and has done it already, as we can see. So the database is ready to use. That's what we're looking for. It is still doing things, probably because it had a default database and it's kind of resizing whatever databases do, right? So, well, that was very successful already. So we can, well, go to the terminal. There's our shell. And we can do a SQL plus /assysdba. Can we do that? Yep, we're connected to the database. Yay. Hooray, hooray. And of course, not a Siebel database yet, but let's just give it a try. Okay, we get a hello from Dual, so it's a real database. We believe it. Okay, good enough. Or you can connect to the database, of course, from podman exec. So getting a shell into the machine or a terminal, and then doing the SQL plus with the full username and password combination. A free PDB1, by the way, is the one pluggable database that you can have in a free database, and it has to have that name. So free PDB1 is going to be our Siebel database as well. So in my Claude assisted document that is growing with every step we learn something, I've put some, well, connection steps. We did that. And you could also connect with external clients, of course, if you have them, like SQL Developer. And one thing I would like to do for myself for this environment is enable TNS_admin. So but I want to obtain the correct TNS names, and that is inside the persistence layer. So I have to copy it out. So here is the set of PowerShell commands. So first, that's all PowerShell. So we create a new directory which will hold the TNS names and other files. And well, let's do it like that. And then we copy the TNS names Aura. Let's see if that works. So podman CP, you can copy out in the path inside the machine. So that's the mount, persistence, volume, and then we have opt Oracle Aura Data DB config free. TNS names Aura, we copy that. Let's see if that really happened. So we have Oracle Network Admin. There's the file. Let's take a look. Don't have many options right now, but it looks, yeah. So we have, for example, the free PDB1 is described here, which is practically enough for Siebel to connect to it. And once we have TNS admin, I'll download SQL Developer and we'll have a go at the database. We can connect and stuff like that. There are more commands, SQLnet, Aura. Oh, let's follow these instructions. Oops. Okay, and listener. Not sure if we need that one, but let's do it. Okay, so now we have 3 files local. Of course, when anything changes, which is unlikely in this scenario, then we need to download the files, if we will. And well, we also can create environment variables from within PowerShell. We do it system-wide. Okay, so we have a TNS admin environment variable now pointing to that folder, and this enables every Oracle client on the machine, the future Siebel provided Oracle client as well, to find the TNS names in that location. You can also set it for the current session. Okay, copy paste. Copy paste stopped working a long time ago. Okay. And we can verify that. Okay, that works as well. So it fetches the data. Okay, so that's a little side step. And another side step we do is to disable archive logging. So what happened was that the later container images from Oracle, they come with a predefined database. That's why they start up so fast. If that database would have not existed, it would have honored our setting to not enable archive logging. But this database has it enabled. I want to disable it. So I asked Claude to provide me with some commands. It needs to shut down the database, start up it in mount mode, alter the database, and open it again. So this is optional, of course, and must be done in the in sysdba mode. So it's of course very important to understand disabling archive logging is not a good idea in production environments. Well, you know the drill. So we do a podman exec it. Let's do podman ps first. Oracle Siebel def bash. Okay, we do sql plus /sysdba, and we have to type that correctly to get in. So now let's follow these commands. Again, completely optional. If you're not sure what you're doing, don't do it. Okay, we now alter it. Okay, and now we see no archive mode. And yeah, any archive files we could delete, but there wouldn't be many, so we don't worry about that. All right. So one thing we wanted to do is test the connection from outside from the machine, from the Windows host machine, because that's where Siebel will be running. We have no Siebel installation yet, but well, why not go and download SQL Developer, see if we can connect. So I went for the SQL Developer download page. There's a VS Code extension, Windows 64-bit with JDK included. That's probably the one we are going for. All right. Let's find that zip file. Oh, we need some zip utility. So let's quickly go to 7zip.org and download the latest installer. It's just 7zip. So now we can open that with 7zip and see there's a SQL developer folder in it, and that folder we extract to the C drive probably. Most convenient. All right, so we have SQL developer. Here's the executable. And that should actually pick up TNS admin, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, that started up and it identified the content of the TNS admin folder. Nice. So we connect to free PDB1. And of course we need a username. So at the moment we only have the sys user. Not sure if that works. Yeah, as sysdba. Let's try again. Okay, let's do a proper connection. So we have sys dba, and we do free PDB1, test that, and success, yes. So save that, connect, and seem to be connected. Yes. There's probably not much in there, is there? Other tables? Oh yeah, the admin tables. We are sys, of course. So, of course, that is just to validate that we can connect to this Oracle 23 AI free database in running in Podman as a container, which runs inside Windows subsystem for Linux. And we can still reach it from the outside, like as if it were a real database service. Okay, so we have us a database. This was maybe a little bit unusual journey. Could have taken much less time, but of course there's always something new to learn. And in the next video we are going to install some Siebel on top of that database. See you there. Thank you. Bye bye.